Welcome everybody to Third Person Nerd Radio Hangout, where we're just going to be talking about Deadpool tonight. I've got a cast of Deadpool fans, maybe, I don't know, but you guys let me know. First off, we're just going to go around and introduce ourselves. My name is Packager. Listen, I usually record Third Person Nerd Radio, but we haven't done that in a couple months, so this is just a fresh take talking about Deadpool. I have liked Deadpool. I'll be honest right now, I'm not as big of a reader as most of comic books, and I've barely touched any of his comics. So a lot of what I know about Deadpool is from others, from comic book strips online, from cartoon appearances that are very light compared to what I got in this movie. And I enjoyed this movie, without going into more detail than that. Next up is the other Pat, if you want to.
Hey guys. Here.
Sorry, we're not going to refer to you all night as the other Pat. I'll try to find a different name.
Even if you do, I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm pretty sure people can tell us apart, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're the other Pat.
Yeah, that's right. So, anyways, yeah, I've been kind of a Deadpool fan for not too long, I guess. I'm not big into the comic book scene or anything like that. I've never really been. But I think the time where I got, I guess, more involved with him, the way I enjoy my media is through YouTube. So I've just been going through YouTube, contents, this, that, the other, and then kind of just fell into my lap, and I was looking at origin stories and different cartoons, so on and so forth. So that's kind of been my Deadpool intake. I think the character is very well built, considering it's still in its infancy. I mean, he's was created in the early 1990s. So for the short amount of time he's been around, I mean, he's seen great success. He's got a couple different origins, which is quite interesting.
I mean, he would have different oranges as well. So,
right.
And so joining us, possibly illegally, Marcus, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? Marcus here, checking in from China. Yeah, great firewall of China and doing some illegal shit over here.
Wall of China. I like that. Sorry. History joke. You still with us, Marcus? See, this might happen. This is a good.
This is what happens when you talk about the firewall.
Yeah, we said China twice. Boom.
Oh, he's back.
That's just my luck, guys. Like I open my mouth to speak, I get dropped like that, like a hot minute. I'll keep it short and simple. Deadpool fan for like the last 5 days. I didn't know about Deadpool until I saw the movie.
I like that.
Nice.
It's gonna be a fresh take then.
Fresh take. And you know what? This guy is right up my alley for sure, man. Like, he reminds me of a younger me,
That's scary. And then Andrew, not a stranger to Third Person Nerd Radio Podcast, but introduce yourself and let us know your background with Deadpool.
Yep, Andrew. I've been podcasting with you guys for a little bit. Love Deadpool. More so after the movie came out, but even before the movie, I started collecting some comics. I have every omnibus there is of Deadpool. He's just a great character. They really portrayed him really well in this comic too. It was pretty close to the origin story.
Last but not least, Alex.
Yeah, I could be least. That's all right.
Okay, last and least.
Alex. I'm a lifelong comic book fan. Deadpool, Marvel's not really my forte. I'm the one DC guy in every 25. It's like a prerequisite. But I still, I got into Deadpool, I would say probably going back like 10, 12, 13 years now. A good friend of mine, Kyle Quinn, huge Deadpool fan. Got me into the original couple of miniseries, The Circle Chase and the other one, and a lot of the original Joe Kelly stuff. And I read that mostly and really enjoyed it, and then kind of fell off. Didn't really read through Cable Deadpool, so I'm more like the early stuff, and like I've read it here and there now. He's still great, He's changed, but it's good. And the movie is fantastic, so yeah.
Awesome. So, I mean, just to dip our toes into how we felt about the movie just a little bit. I thought we'd go around and talk about what probably was a standout moment, whether that was the funniest or the thing that really sucked you in. And for me, it's easy if I'm to start right away. And what I liked about this movie is in the previews, a lot of it had to take place in the first 10, 15 minutes, like the car chase, the gun fighting, and all that. But in those scenes, still, if it was shown in the trailers, and sometimes that feels like it's, you lose a lot. As the car chase was happening and the car was flipping and people were flying, I was like giddy with joy, and I just thought, wow, this is gonna be good. And I kept like looking over at my girlfriend, looking over at all of the friends I was with, other third-person nerd members, Sheldon and Serge, and I was just like, oh, this is gonna be good, guys. And it was like a fast-paced action scene, and it was violent. And right away, I was like, I was there for the comedy, I thought, but I thought the action was pretty good right there.
Yeah. No, I hear
Not
you.
the other Pat, yeah, go ahead, Alex. Sorry.
No, I hear you. That I was surprised too, like you were saying initially, how much that we've seen this action scene before, and we've seen the leaked footage before, the test screen footage, and all that shit. And that action scene still managed to be like, wow, like this is great. This is something else, It was done very, very well. But the thing that caught me off guard in the movie, because I think I kind of knew what I was expecting, and I was in for the ride. I was gonna enjoy it no matter what, essentially. But the thing that caught me off guard the most, that sideswiped me, was Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Just a lot of the humor coming from those two, especially Colossus too. I was expecting him to be one note, but man, that was great. Like, it was the nice little add-on, and just the little teases to the X world and little tongue-in-cheek references to monetary restrictions. Like, they served their purpose well. It was a lot better than just the, hey, look, I thought it was going to be X-Men characters. Look over here,
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, that was probably my standout.
I think for me it was just like the scale of it, right? I always expected it to be like closer quarters. It seemed from all the previews it was going to be like a little bit more like hand-to-hand combat, kind of like more close-ups and whatnot, right? And then towards the end, where they're in the junkyard there, where the airship is being I don't know if it's being torn apart or fixed or whatever, but when they pan out and you actually see like the sheer scale, and they're actually using the entire environment. When everything's coming down as a danger and whatnot, that was just great, right? They actually were able to incorporate CGI in a proper fashion. They didn't overdo it, right? But they used it, I find, just enough.
Mm-hmm.
And since China's gotten in the way again, Andrew, what was your breakout moment?
My favorite part in the movie was when he was in the doctor's office. He was giving him the news, and he was talking about how his girlfriend or whatever was going through A through Z, and I'm just thinking here, like, kind of zoning out, and it kind of hit home for me, because through all the medical shit that I've gone through, I've been right there. So it almost made me cry a little bit for a Deadpool movie. So I was like, holy fuck! And then like 2 minutes later, I was laughing my ass off. So yeah, it was really good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, man. I think those emotional beats really took a lot of people off guard. People weren't expecting that, a little bit of depth from this movie from what they had seen,
Yeah,
so I think I'd have to agree with that. I find that they did a really good job with the character building, if anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of action movies just kind of throw you in. At the end of the day, you don't care so much about the supporting actors, but I find that they built a really nice rapport, nice relationship with everyone.
Yeah. Everybody but Ajax.
And what I like there too.
Right.
Yeah.
Ajax.
Boring. God, boring.
What I like about what you guys all said about your moments, I liked each one of those moments too. Like, there's a lot of standout moments, and to pick just one was tough. So I'm glad you guys brought those ones. I'm wondering when Marcus comes back, I'll try to remember and go back. Marcus, what was your standout moment? But for now, let's move on to and we kind of touched base on it right there a little bit. The characterization. Let's start with Deadpool himself, though. What did you guys think about? I mean, there's been a lot of build-up of Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool. What did you guys think about him personally, that character? And maybe I won't start this time. Alex, you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. I mean, he nailed it, man. Right? the thing that's been he's been saying a lot is like this is the role he's been born to play, and I think God, I think he's right. You know, he just embodies the same kind of like attitude from this character. And we used to, a couple of friends of mine, we used to always joke around that we'd already seen Deadpool in movies. You just have to go back and watch Ryan Reynolds in Blade 3. And he's playing Deadpool in that movie. And like it transfers right over. He's basically been playing this guy for 4 years because he is this guy. It's great. I think this was easy for him, to be perfectly honest.
And just to, like you said, he's born to play the role. He's also, I believe he said now that he wants to play the role till he dies, and he doesn't want to play any other superhero.
Well, that's what you say when your movie makes fucking more money than Man of Steel in its opening weekend. You made more money than a Superman movie, man. That's insane.
Like $133 million opening weekend, I think.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
I think they're actually beating Star Wars right now, if I'm not mistaken.
They're beating everything right now, I believe.
Really? Now, Marcus, the one thing we went through while you were, being blocked is
Cock block.
we talked about the chase scene. We talked about him finding out about his medical problems. We talked about a couple other moments. Like, what was your breakout moment?
My breakout moment. I like the sex one.
Yeah.
There you go. Now we're well-rounded.
No, you know what?
Put some balls in holes. Let's go, guys.
That's worth mentioning. You know, in like the superhero movie that I personally saw at least 2 people bring their children to. That those were actually some pretty. Let's say it. Those are some pretty decent scenes. For like, your run-of-the-mill like movie. It was good. It was artful. It was tasteful.
But yeah, now we're talking specifically about Ryan Reynolds. Outside of the sex scene, how well.
I was just.
You fucking nailed those too.
I agree with Alex. Sorry, I'm talking over somebody, but I agree with Alex wholeheartedly that this guy Ryan Reynolds was like made to play this character. Even in the comic books, it references him as his likeness to his comic books like 10 years before he even had the idea to be in it. Like he says, I look like Ryan Reynolds crossed with a Sharpay, so that's what he is.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to agree with you 100%. I mean, I can't think of anybody else who would play this character, right? Even in one of the X-Men movies where he played him. Although
that one doesn't count. That was a horrible.
I know. I know. What I'm saying though, like the end scene of that, I think we can all agree was absolutely horrible. But even like the elevator scene, his attitude, his comedy, everything, it was still Deadpool. Although it was, it wasn't done in the best way at all. I think it was probably one of the worst Deadpool cameos ever in a movie. But regardless, he still pulled it together as Deadpool.
Yeah. As the merc with a mouth. Yeah.
I mean, everything, like everything before, like the mouth sewn shut and shit was honestly not that bad for him. He did all right. Yeah. The bullet sword, thing, a little, it was what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Andrew, are you gonna disagree with us? I don't think you will, but what did you think about Ryan Reynolds?
Oh no, he was born to play that role. I even read this playing Blade 3 that they gave him a stack of Deadpool comics and said, "Do this." So
there you go.
I was, what's funny? I was medicating and thinking for like a solid hour. Who else could play Deadpool? And I could not think of a damn fucking actor at all. Like not one solid actor I could think of.
Even if you could, right? But now, so. A much more interesting point where we might not all first, other than Deadpool himself, right? What was the supporting character that you enjoyed the most? And maybe you want to talk about. We'll talk about the ones we enjoyed the least as well, but that's optional. But for me, I enjoyed his buddy at the bar quite a bit. Now, there's a lot of great characters in this movie.
No.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of great characters in this movie, but that they had a good. First of all, he was in the movie a lot more than Blind Al. But there was a lot of great lines back and forth between the two. that were making me laugh out loud in the theater. While I don't know that he needs to be on board in every movie like some of these other characters that you guys are probably going to mention, those two had some great dialogue in this movie anyways. The naming of Deadpool and that origin of the name itself, not just the character but the name, was awesome. Those scenes in the bar, and that bartender, his buddy, he was along for a lot of the ride. And
Weasel, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could just now I was like, but yeah, it was great. It was great, and even when he leaves at the final scene and then he turns to blind Al, I was like, you want to get fucked up? So there's a lot of good stuff there. What about you guys?
I actually
Go ahead.
I didn't like that guy at all. I didn't think he was funny, hardly. He had a couple funny lines, but overall, like, he wasn't that funny. T.J. Miller is his name, I think?
Yeah.
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 Like, my favorite supporting actor was probably the cab driver.
Oh.
Yeah, he was great, actually.
Make it back. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. No, that's.
I think I got to be on board with Pat on this one when it comes to the bartender. Although I don't think he played like an absolute crucial role in this. He was definitely like the pour back and forth was awesome. You could tell they had like some sort of more of a professional relationship, because at the end, like how he tells him like, yeah, I don't give a shit, like I don't want to go with you, I don't care, right? He's always chirping him as if he doesn't give a shit about him, but at the end of the day, he still has his back. So they have this weird relationship that's just wrapped up in comedy.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm down with you guys as well. I really did enjoy Weasel. I like that. Like, I don't think Deadpool can really be friends with anybody because he's pretty broken. You know what I mean? Like, he's got to half-use people. My favorite, even though she was a little underused, and there's probably a lot more of her, I bet, on the cutting room floor of this movie, but I love Blind Al, man. She's one of my favorite mainstays from the early years of the comic books. She's like part hostage, part roommate, part mother, Like, and they didn't get into how really twisted that relationship is, but just him like cuddling her on the couch and then breaking the tension with the little baby hand there, like, oh, it was so good. And I just love the blind woman building IKEA furniture. I can't fucking build IKEA furniture, and I'm, reasonably like able.
Reasonably though.
Reasonably able. My best of days. But God, yeah, Blind Al, my favorite. She got me. I hope there's a way more of her. I hope we get to see two parts of her backstory from the comics. Where she and like Andrew probably be the one backing me up on these. Where she gets to time travel and pretend to be Aunt May for a couple days, and B, where she dates Captain America as well in 1940s.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
Blind Al's an awesome lady.
Andrew, who's your pick?
It just changed some article I read, and after reading the comics, it really makes sense. But I forgot her name. But the chick that's the same name as Copycat, that I now think is Lady Death, because Deadpool's only true love has ever been Lady Death. If that was Copycat, he would not have treated her like that. And if it is, then they kind of did the character.
And yeah, I'm with you on that one. That's kind of messed up, right? If you look at the IMDb, they put Vanessa as Copycat. But yeah, there's other articles that kind of have an argument as to when Vanessa shows up, when she meets him, that she's upset that he's alive, that kind of hint that she might be Lady Death, right? So it's kind of confusing in the movie.
And she fell off the entire aircraft carrier of the glass had a huge crack in it, so on impact it was already not stable.
Oh, yeah.
She would have died once she was already dead.
But the thing is, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, in the comic books, right? The only person that can see Lady Death is Deadpool when he's in the process of dying. But in the movie, everyone else can see her, so that's, again, it's pretty conflicting.
Yeah, that could be. But like a lot of things, when comics or books get turned into movies, sometimes they'll take two characters that are important but not important enough to both be casted, and they'll just amalgamate them. And that
Yeah.
might have been what happened here.
Or just like goofy movie rules, you know what I mean? We can do what we want kind of thing.
Or that. It is a goofy movie. Yeah. Or
Also,
that. Good point.
if I can interrupt real quick, I'm sorry. I thought it was really
for sure.
cool that they took Negasonic Teenage Warhead and actually made her a relevant character, because in the comics, those are not her powers. She's low-level, like, telekinetic or something like that. She can't do those explosive things like her name says. Like, it makes sense how they did it in the movie. So I thought that was really cool. There are not many comic books about her at all. She's kind of like a filler character. So I thought that was really cool the way they did her.
Cool.
I think she was like a last anyways, wasn't she? She was
What's that?
Negasonic Warhead, teenage whatever. The last vision.
There's a couple. I think there's a couple like that. Yeah, because they had some last minute like slashes to their budget, right? So they had to shuffle some characters around in the script and change some things up. I've heard.
Even then, I find that they.
It was also supposed to be a
yeah.
whole motorcycle chase scene with Deadpool and Ajax in the start, and then they weren't supposed to lose all his guns from the taxi guy. There's supposed to be a huge gunfight that also got good.
Well played,
That's,
then.
see, that's great. That's what the hell is it, right? The mother of ingenuity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There, half a saying for you, folks.
Now, if there's anything, this might be the more difficult of all the questions. Like, is there anything that you guys would have liked to see done differently? And for some of you guys, maybe it's more like, is there anything that you would have personally written or directed or you know what I mean, done differently in the casting in the entire project?
Well, I mean, in a perfect world,
Right.
he'd have free reign over all of Marvel. Right, he wouldn't be like a very narrow corner of just like the Fox brand and what they own for the mutants and stuff like that and blah blah
Right.
blah blah blah. Like where they're going to be
That's
staying for the time being, and that's fine. It's going to be okay, but it'd be great if you could have him interacting with Spider-Man villains and interacting he beats up Rhino quite a few times in the comics. I would have loved to see something like that, or just I don't know. Or being able to just call Hydra Agent Bob, and not just random goon Bob guy.
Yeah, little things like that. Yeah, in a perfect world was well said. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, tiny gripes, you know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
there's nothing wrong with the film, that's the problem, right? Like, what would you fix? Nothing, really. It's great.
And I kind of agree with that. Like right now, like breakout, like something that really stands out for me that I could think of. I don't know. Yeah, you kind of said the one thing right there. I totally could agree with. If there could have been more crossover elements from the other properties that are owned by a bunch of different people, just freely, just because that worked for the story and the writing and the entertainment factor better, that'd have been great. But I can't
Budget, man.
necessarily think of anything.
Oh, yeah.
Budget. They couldn't afford more than 2 X-Men.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I
Well,
think
Ryan Reynolds made this shit happen, didn't he? Like, he was the one that made this movie happen possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he quote unquote didn't leak the test footage.
He did
Right.
not.
Pat, you were about to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think for myself, it would have to be probably the relationship between Deadpool and Ajax, right? Although the movie did an okay job, I think they could have expanded on it a little bit more. Keep in mind, the movie was what was it, almost 2 hours long, so it's kind of hard to fit it all in, but I would like to see maybe a little bit more backstory with them as to why they really hate each other. You know, how Ajax was torturing him in the complex a little bit more, how he was... torturing his friends because he knows that he couldn't kill or really do much to Deadpool, and he didn't give a shit because he wanted to die, right? So kind of build that up a little bit more to show why he really, really hates him.
Yeah, he was a bit, like, the villains are kind of hollow in this movie.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, very shallow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another one I can agree with because I mean everybody that enjoyed the movie, almost that I talked to, almost right across the board, thought Ajax was a little weak as a villain, and maybe you're right. It's because of the way they were set up. I also thought he was a little underpowered. I felt like Deadpool had him beat in almost every way, just on paper. You know what I mean? Like there was no danger, other than to Vanessa.
Yeah, like he wasn't a real threat to Deadpool. He was a threat to other people, sure, because I mean he had that strength and all that. But other than when Deadpool was in shackles, he really wasn't all that intimidating to him. Like he really wasn't doing much.
No.
Why
Andrew,
did he have
you got
strength? I thought his power was like quick reflexes and no sensitivity to
feel
pain. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
can't
His
feel.
nerve endings were burnt.
right, but that makes him stronger.
No.
No, yeah.
Even a little bit like superhuman strength, though, right? So
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
think about strength like this. Like Bruce Lee's strength, because he had such high dexterity, because his reflexes were so high that he could get those pinpoint tensions forever. That's where his strength came in.
Yeah.
the guy up by his neck and just held him there. Like that was a big guy.
Yeah, that's got to be a little bit of super strength. It's got to be.
That's
Well,
true.
it's just,
Yeah.
well, these guys are all
gotta give
messing
you that.
around with. They're messing around with Wolverine. Well, they didn't. I don't think they specifically name dropped it, but I mean they're messing around with Wolverine's healing factor, right?
Yeah.
They're messing around with superpowers,
Yeah.
I'm
But,
sure.
Was there anything else? I mean, I know you jumped in on a few and agreed, like I did, but I don't have really anything other than what these gentlemen said. Andrew, is there anything other than what we've already stated that you would have changed?
Well, I would love to see that. I think never, ever, ever happened is the relationship that Deadpool has with Thanatos. I probably said that wrong. Thanos? Thanos. Anyway,
Yeah, you've been playing Smite.
Thanos is in love with Lady Death and curses Deadpool to have immortality so he can never be with Death. And that's the main reason why he's completely immortal. And it would be cool because there's been storylines where Deadpool literally steals the Infinity Gauntlet from Thanos and turns the one that he has on his hand into a plastic toy. Oh, it's fucking great. It's so good. The back and forth that they have are just so funny because it's Thanos like this huge mega villain, and then Deadpool that just kind of fucks around. It's great. It's great.
Now,
I don't know, Marvel throws some of
leading
that
up-
Disney money around.
well,
Maybe make that
that's
happen.
perfect. That's is that the sort of thing we can see happen though? So with the success of this movie, if we're gonna move past Deadpool just a little bit and look at look, we were talking earlier, the great success of this movie. It's doing great. Is that going to wake up other companies? I know it's almost guaranteed Fox is going to take advantage. What's the future of R-rated movies now that Deadpool's done so good? What do you guys think?
Wolverine, Old Man Logan.
Yeah.
We did our
Frank Miller Batman.
arteries. Yeah, Batman too could be.
I mean, we're about to get Punisher in on Netflix, but I mean, a Punisher movie too can now properly be done a little bit better. I think. I don't want to offend anybody who liked the old ones.
I think Netflix is doing a good job already. They're
Oh yeah.
like Daredevil was
They are.
amazing. And, like, I trust that.
Yep.
Series.
Yeah, thanks to it, I think it's all going to come down to money, right? So Deadpool made how many millions? So that's got to speak volumes. So
Yeah.
if the other companies want to make some cash, which at the end of the day, that's all they ever want, they might throw out a couple movies here and there just to kind of test the market and see how it goes from there.
To be fair, though, there was a ton of R-rated comic book based movies before Deadpool that did horrible, like just bad.
Yeah, but Deadpool had one hell of a marketing team.
Yeah.
It did. It did.
Oh, for sure.
True. See, like it's all gonna in the future now. It's all gonna come down, especially with Fox, because now they fucking think they've struck gold, right?
Oh yeah.
So it all comes
Right.
down to it's gonna come down to selection. Like you got to get the right properties to do this. They can't just be like, oh shit, well we still own Fantastic Four, fucking R-rated Fantastic Four. You know,
Please, God, no.
it's the double-edged sword, right? Like they might ruin this. They might.
Well,
think Deadpool
I
succeeded.
think they've already ruined
on
Fantastic Four
defense,
twice,
right?
but
How many times can we possibly ruin Fantastic Four? My God.
leave it to Fox. I'm sure they can find a third.
Well, hey
A hat
man,
trick.
they're sharing Spider-Man. Like, oh no, wait, that's Sony. If Sony can share Spider-Man,
Yeah, that's
maybe
everybody
Fox
else.
can share something. Come on,
Yeah,
Fox.
I would like to, but I mean, even outside of Fox, the company is going to be looking at this. I think the main problem we see less rated R movies these days is because most companies think, oh, we're really going to cut the market in half, and there's not going to be money there. And Deadpool just proved them like, whoa, no, there's some people who are definitely going to get right, market it right, especially.
Mhm.
So even outside of Fox, I think we're going to see some people test the waters.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly more than the few that we've already mentioned what fruits we may gain from this, but I'm excited to see maybe even one more rated R movie a year. You know.
And like, I know we got to compare apples to apples, right? But you got to think about, like, even the video game market. What is it? The main market is like 18 to 35 or something. Well, that's all above 18.
Right.
So, and the video game market is a $1 billion industry. So it shows that people,
Yeah.
over want this more mature content, and they'll actually go out and seek it.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. And I mean, the movie, it has been changing the environment of who's going to the movies. They're not playing as much to the younger market. You're seeing it with, you see it with like the cheap movies always first. Like horror's starting to come back to R-rated again, you know?
Yeah.
Like we had fucking 10 years of PG-13 slasher movies that were just bullshit. And things are really starting to get, bloody again. And that's like an indicator of an entire shift in the culture of who's going back out to the theater, who's spending the money, right?
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, if they want to keep stuff, rated PG, rated, family friendly and all that, leave that stuff up to Disney and Pixar.
Oh yeah, that content, man. That content, and there's lots of stuff out there like the Avengers and like Ant-Man that can be enjoyed by like from 5-year-olds right up to adults. Everybody,
Absolutely, it's done right.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't want to see no rated R Star Wars either. You know what I mean? Some properties and franchises.
Well, like if you just came out and told me Rogue One was going to be rated R, but the main titles wouldn't be rated R, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, that's true. But not the, you know what I mean though. Not the core series. You'd be like, that's a little out of place. But you're right. With all the spin-offs coming, I could take one for sure.
Or maybe if they do like a Netflix series rated R, right?
Yeah.
Well, the last two have been PG-13, right? Episode 3 and then Force Awakens have both been PG-13 movies.
Yeah.
So we're slowly getting there.
Okay. This is Jessica Jones, right?
Cutting out a little bit, Andrew. Didn't catch that.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Marvel or Disney owns Jessica Jones, right?
Right.
That's a hard R, I'd say.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's easy to agree that we would like to see more. This is probably going to add a few out there. There are a few anyways that we must see happen. But for sure, we're going to see Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
I mean, did you?
Oh yeah.
You guys all stay till
To the very end with Cable, yeah.
The Ferris Bueller tribute.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic. Eh?
That was well done.
Yeah.
Same robe, same background, same lines.
It was perfect, man. Oh, it was great. It was the best possible way to do that.
Oh,
It's like a joke inside a joke,
Right.
I got ready for it. I
Yeah.
got my huge toy.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's coming, man.
Yeah, I think the second one's going to be great too. With it's Cable, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That should be interesting.
And we don't
That
have to do
fucking-
origins.
That
Just
opens.
drop right into it and just go.
But like, see, that's the question now. It's like, how deep down a rabbit hole are we gonna go? Because Deadpool's gonna talk about who Cable is. I mean, hell, he talked about having 2 different Professor X's, right? So he's definitely gonna reference the fact that, oh, this guy is from the fucking future and he's this guy's kid and blah 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 blah. So we're gonna tie at that point. We're gonna have no help but tie even more into X-Men, right? Like, at what point are they just gonna tie it right directly into the main series, or do you think they're always gonna kind of keep it as this rated R offshoot?
I think they're going
Well,
to.
I know it's just rumors.
Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was gonna say. It's only as far as I know, it's only rumors. Nobody from Fox has confirmed like that's happening. But X-Force is potentially something down the road for us as well. So
Yeah, makes sense, right?
I think I read something or heard something about Liam Neeson being casted as Cable in the next.
Oh, I've heard every name of. I don't know. Liam Neeson. That's the first time I hear Liam Neeson.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rough one. I like I like and the creator of Deadpool
Hellboy there.
was talking about this. Oh, Ron Perlman's good. Yeah, no, but John Hamm
Yeah.
as Cable. And like at first I was like, "What? You're ridiculous." But the more you think about it, it's like, okay, I could see that. He's got that jar head.
I would love to see it. I'm having a hard time picturing because John Hamm in Batman is no Cable.
But he can play such a straight man.
Sometimes. Yeah, I'd like to see it. But I mean, so we went around, we've talked Deadpool. I liked having you guys. This was a good talk. But we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for anybody who could be listening. Like me and Alex always say, there's probably one or two people watching this and listening. So thank
To the
you.
three of you out there,
very
as
few
always.
people.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
And until next time.